On the edge of the Yorkshire moors is the picturesque town of Kirby Moorside, home to auctioneer Angus Ashworth. He's on a mission to help celebrities...
Hello! Welcome to my humble home.
Hello!
Hello!
...turn their odds and ends...
It's just sat there, collecting dust.
It's valuable and should be looked after. Of course, we just use it for a fruit bowl.
...into piles of cash.
£200 to £300 there, maybe £300 to £500.
So that might fetch a couple of quid.
It would.
Come along as he visits their homes.
Welcome to West Sussex.
You're very welcome, sir, very welcome.
Welcome to Shea McGee.
What a wonderful place.
And uses his expert knowledge...
They're one of the nicest things I've seen in a long time.
...to uncover hidden gems...
There is something else I think will excite you.
Very glamorous.
And I had some big earrings. I was really showing off.
...sentimental family heirlooms...
They were my granddad. My granddad was my hero.
...and the just plain weird.
Do you like my lips?
Very nice lips.
Children's shoes, which are a little bit spooky.
Then invites them back to his Yorkshire Auction House...
And that's paid for my dinner.
...to watch him put them under his gavel. It's a beautiful morning in North Yorkshire, and the auction house is about to start its day.
Thank you, George.
What a fella. Hero. Thank you.
Each year, Angus and his crew clock up around 60,000 miles driving to house clearances.
You just don't know what you're going to see next. We've had some fantastic things over the years to sell. Thank you very much, sir. Hopefully one day we'll find that rare Chinese vase that sells for 50-odd million and, you know, it'd be great.
A job has come in, and Angus will need Pete's help with a clearance.
Hey, doing a good job there, Pete.
Cheers. Cheers.
He is visiting someone whose taste in collectibles mirrors their personality.
What do you love watching on telly on a weekend?
Strictly.
Guess what? We're off to see Craig Revel Horwood.
Oh, nice one. Sorted. Right.
Get your dancing shoes.
Come on, then.
Yeah?
Hey.
Craig Revel Horwood. He's one of our best-loved dancers, choreographers and Strictly judges. Angus is coming to take some of his goodies. Will he need his hanky when he sees them go?
I'm not going to cry about it. I know you want me to cry on camera, but I'm not like that time.
He did a lot of theatre, you know, it's not just sort of Strictly. I mean, he's famous for Strictly, but he's done a lot of theatre shows, and you're into stuff like that, are you?
Theatre, so...
Yeah. Been seeing Cats or anything?
No.
No?
No.
Well, every day's a learning day, now. Might teach us a few things.
Yeah.
It's 250 miles to Craig's sprawling mansion set within 7 acres of the Hampshire countryside. He moved here 7 years ago and shares it with his fiancée, Jonathan.
I've decided to eliminate some things from my life because my new house I'm moving to is a lot smaller than this one. It's a fresh start for myself and Jonathan to start our lives together. I think it's really good to move, and a change is always good.
What do you think you'll have to sell? I think it might be a bit glitzy.
It's got to be.
Glam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely glam.
Do you think if I got to do Strictly, I could end up with a house like this?
You'd never be able to do too Strictly.
Hey, I'm blooming good dancer. I've had it told.
Yeah. Who by?
Morning.
Good morning. Welcome to my humble home, darling.
Well, it's lovely.
Do you want to come in and have a look around?
I would love to. Thank you very much.
I know, I'm a bit nervous about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because you're going to take everything. I'm worried.
Craig needn't worry. Angus won't be taking everything.
A lot of sparkles, isn't there?
There is a lot of sparkle. Yeah, in my industry, you see people don't know what to buy me, so they give me balls of glitter, you know, glitter balls, glitter buddhas, glitter everything.
Well, you know, we all need a bit of sparkle in our lives, don't we?
But Craig does need Angus's help to thin out several items before his big move, which may do well at auction.
Okay.
I mean, I do like my lips.
Very nice lips.
They can go.
Okay. The white leather sofas might not be North Yorkshire Moors.
The glamour.
Yeah, the glamour, I know, but...
The glamour.
You know...
Remember whose bottom's been parked in these?
I know, but they're not much good when you've been out doing the sheep and you come in and, you know, and the cattle and...
Take your boots off at the door.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, boom.
Boom.
Hoik it onto a white leather sofa.
You know, I think a sparkly leopard would look quite good on the North Yorkshire Moors.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing I don't want to sell.
Oh, OK. and do you know where you're going?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to the Midlands.
OK.
Because Jonathan, my partner, is from Leicester and his whole family live up there. But it's a start of a new life and...
Yeah. A new chapter, a new book.
And you married me.
Well, I mean, let's have a look round and see what you've got, what we can do.
OK.
And
come this way, I'll take you on a little tourette.
Wonderful.
After almost 40 years in showbiz, starting at the age of 17, Craig's built up a collection of eye-popping pieces.
I mean, for me, that screams you, doesn't it? I mean, it's like an Oscar for glamour, isn't it?
It sort of is.
So this wasn't off Strictly or anything like that?
It has been used in a lot of Strictly shows.
Oh, OK, so it has
in the background, yeah, it has actually been on telly quite a bit. And everyone says, what is that? So it's sort of like a classic design from the 30s. It's hard to say goodbye to it because it's been with me for 7 years. It represents me moving into this house. It's one of the first pieces that I decided to buy. I think you can probably put this in the auction.
OK.
As beautiful as it is, it doubles as a seat. Oh. And I can just sit here, you see, admire the view. Do you want to have a go?
Yeah.
It is nice. You're going to fall in love with it. You won't want to sell it.
It's quite empowering, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
You feel like a queen, don't you?
That's exactly what I thought, actually.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, yes.
If only I had a crown.
Yeah. Come on, lead on. I want to see the rest of the house.
Come on.
Next on the tour is the dining room.
So, what could go in here? I mean, you could take my CRH.
I mean, there's no mistaking whose house this is there?
I know. You could take that.
Craig Revel Horwood may have a certain ring to it, but back in the 80s, Craig used the name Lavish when he performed as a drag queen.
I mean, I can't not come to your house and take a glitter ball, can I?
Well, I think you need to take at least one.
Dining room done, moving on.
Angus, darling, this is my vol-au-vent kitchen.
OK.
You might laugh, but I think it's really important to have 7 cookers. I left school at 15 and a half to become an apprentice chef and totally and utterly sort of thought that's going to be my career. I absolutely love it and I hated it. And then I abandoned everything and gave my whole life up to dance and just adored it.
Well, I think if you're happy, I'm going to have a walk round.
Yeah.
I'll get Pete in. And, you know, we'll work out what we're taking.
OK.
Brilliant. Thank you.
I'll go out by the pool, shall I?
Yeah, you go relax.
Yeah, I'll go and pour myself a nice pina colada.
You do that.
Hopefully Angus and Pete have had their porridge this morning.
Pete.
Go on.
Well, you're going to see me sweat today. Oh, we've got a lot of work to do.
Right.
It's a little bit of a bigger job than we anticipated. I'll show you around what's got to go.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Very glitz and glamour, isn't it?
It is, but it's nice. I could do with this myself.
Really?
Yeah, I like it.
The chair can go. You know, there's lots of little glitzy smalls just come through here, Pete.
Look at the size of that telly.
There are 3 floors in this house, including 7 bedrooms.
Right, Pete. So we're going to take the sofa, and then you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Go on, then.
Look at this. I mean, look at it.
Look at it. Look at them.
I know, the boots.
Them. Right.
I mean, he loves his clothes, so he wasn't that keen about letting go. But he has a real thing about skulls and stuff. So I've managed to convince him to sell these.
OK.
I call them my dancing plimsolls. And I love them. They're probably the first glittery shoes I ever bought, actually.
This is the cow room. Bob, come this way.
The trick for Angus is to only take the things he thinks he can sell.
Sparkling balls. See you on the disco dance floor with this, Pete. Dazzling. Yeah.
Angus was, you know, eyeing up all the most expensive items I have in my house, but I do want something to go away with as well. So it's quite shocking if you leave someone, you know, to their own devices looking around your home and then the truck starts filling up.
That's it.
Bet you wish Gary was here to help, weren't you, Pete?
Yeah, I wish somebody was here to help.
I've got it, Pete. One day, Pete, you might have your initials in lights. It's Strictly Come Dancing, Pete, that's what it is.
Craig is the only original judge on Strictly since it started nearly 17 years ago.
He didn't really want to park them, but he knows we're in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And sheep are popular in York, so he's decided he's going to sell. He's got a flock of sheep. We've got a bit of space. We've given them some water. They'll be all right. But we're going to need some help rounding them up.
Well, at least somebody gets some water around here. Where are they?
He said they like to feed in here, Pete.
I haven't seen a single one yet.
Craig was born near Melbourne in Australia, and his dad used to keep sheep.
He called them all Dolly. So I decided to get some resin sheep. I thought 5 is a good number. So they became my best friends.
Come on. Oh, I've just got a nettle right across the face, Pete.
Is that all of them?
There's another one over there, look. There's 5 big uns and a lamb.
Oh.
I don't know how well we'll do these. They're not Swelldales. Do you want to know an interesting fact about me, Pete?
Is there one?
I was actually champion sheep judge.
Well,
Young farmers when I was 13.
yeah.
So what you'd do, Pete, is you'd get a sheep like this. You'd have 4 of them. You'd have to judge them and place them in order.
This weather, it makes me tired.
Yeah.
I think Angus is a real trooper. He knows exactly what he's talking about. He's obviously trained really, really well and worked really, really hard. And I really respect him. And I think Yorkshire people can be trusted, and they've got a great sense of humour and very down to earth, and I love that.
Bottom teeth, it's just a hard... Where have you gone?
Are you coming?
Come on, Yow. Clog dancing.
I've seen you.
Island dancing.
I've seen it.
Right, I'll tell you, Pete. Dance once on my wedding night.
Angus has finished helping with Craig's downsize. Time to find out if his star client is happy.
But where is all my stuff? This is like completely empty.
Well, I figured you like to dance. But you didn't really have like a dancing room, so I thought we'd just clear the house out to give you some space to dance, you know?
Well, I suppose this is a sign of things to come, though, isn't it, really, for me?
It
I've
is.
got to get used to open, empty spaces, ready to fill again.
And less glitter.
Well, it's been a great pleasure. Thank you so much, Angus. You've been marvellous.
Thank you so much.
I have a lot of weight lifted from my shoulders now. And something to look forward to. The auction.
Yeah,
Come
what it's
on,
going
let's
to be.
make loads of money. Well, thank you very,
Thanks,
very much.
see you,
Take
bye.
care. Look after my stuff, darling. Don't want anything broken now. I'm delighted, actually. I feel relieved. And I do feel that there is a huge weight off my shoulders because I know they're going to somewhere special. I know they're going to Yorkshire. Someone glamorous is going to want all of that stuff in their homes. And it's great that all the stuff will be equally used by someone else.
I've cherry-picked a number of items from auction, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. I don't know if it's quite Rydell's cup of tea, but hopefully we'll get him the money that he's hoping for.
At Kirby Moorside, Pete, with the help of Gary, begins the task of unloading Craig Revel Horwood's glittery goodies.
1.5, haven't you?
The house was gorgeous. He had pigs. He had
Some sheep.
yeah.
Oh, it's later than I thought.
Crazy bastard. Are you ready for a big pair of lips?
Really?
Yeah. A pair of lips that's had Botox. Look at them.
Wow.
As if you had something like that in your house.
You just wouldn't, would you?
Well, we wouldn't, but yeah. Your hair matches the colour of the sofa.
Yours doesn't.
Meanwhile, in preparation for the auction, Angus is writing the catalogue to attract online bids.
I mean, I have to say, this is a bit of a first for me. You know, as opposed to cataloguing a nice antique thing with a lovely description, I'm trying to describe a pair of glittery, 2-foot wide red lips. I don't know how popular they will be in Yorkshire. It's different, you know, we're different. That's what makes this job so enjoyable, that every day is different. And didn't think I'd have a pair of 2-foot lips to sell.
With the auction starting in less than an hour, bidders from far and wide have arrived early to get a good seat for today's sale. Craig and Jonathan have made the 250-mile journey to watch their lots go under the gavel.
I can't wait to see how much I can flog those sheep for.
Bless you, I think the sheep will sell quite well here.
I'm feeling good.
I can't wait, I'm really excited.
I'm hopeful we're going to come out of this auction house with millions.
I'm going to pay off the house right off the bat.
Wouldn't that be brilliant? I love it. Pay for the house and the wedding with this. I mean, let's hope there's a lot of big spenders in there. That's what I'm hopeful.
Good trip up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a good trip. We're in, you know, the delights of Yorkshire now, Charlie.
You love it, don't you? Yeah, anyway, I'll take you in and show you around.
Very exciting.
Craig and Jonathan, a horticulturist, met 3 years ago after being introduced by a friend on the Strictly Arena tour.
Well, I mean, the thing that takes your eye is nice.
I forgot how big it was.
It stands out as being very me compared to all the other chairs. The other chairs are dull, 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 darling. I don't want to go now. I like it. Oh.
You can't buy all of this
It feels like all my stuff is in here.
It is.
It is.
Well, shall we have a look around,
Yeah.
see what else there is? Oh, look at this. I feel sorry to give up my letters, because I do like the letters.
From Strictly Ballroom to Yorkshire Sale Room, this C, R and H certainly stand out. Angus's mum, Caroline, is helping run the auction today.
Now, my darling, I know you're into rustic.
Yes.
But see these wonderful, big, delicious lips? Come on, they'd look nice in any home, wouldn't they?
They would make a statement in mine. I live in a very old, very rustic little farmhouse. And on my stone walls, actually on
Above the fireplace.
Above my Inglenook fireplace, that would make a statement.
Craig's lots will make for an interesting sale. Time to take to the floor.
218, thank you very much.
Joining Angus on the rostrum are Emma and Heather, with Mark taking phone bids and Gary on porter duty. Pucker up, the auction is off.
The lips. These are Craig's lips.
They're fabulous, darling.
They are fabulous. Yeah, there we go. Where should be for this? 110, 120, 120, 130, 140, 140, 150, 170, 180, 180. At £180 it is, then at 180, at 180, 180, 180. Look at me get excited. Surely 190 now. Let's get up to the £200 mark now. At 190, 200, and £200 it is. At £200.
Boom.
Off to a great start. Locals have been flocking to see Craig's sheep all week, but will anyone want to buy them?
The scary thing is these will make more than a real one. £100, Stormy, £100, anywhere is it now? 100, 110, 110, 110, and 110, 140, 150, 150, 160, 170. But it never works out. 210 at £210 at 210 for the first lot of sheep at 210.
Angus split the flock into 3 lots, making £730 in total.
Oh, that's all the sheep gone.
You both in. 95.
Next up, who's walking away with Craig's shoes?
160, 170, is it 180, 190, 200. At £200, it's £100 a shoe. At £200.
Is there anyone in the room with the initials RHC or HRC or...
CRH, it could be a combination of things, but obviously Craig, Revel Horwood. Where should be for these? £50 start me. OK, that's a little bit embarrassing. Shall we try that again? They are, you know, sort of like dressing room lights, and possibly been on Strictly, been on a lot of promo things. We can get them signed.
I'll just buy them back, darling.
£50 I bid, thank you. I've got a bid, thank you, at 50. £50 at 50. They do work, they light up and everything. These are really, really good, OK?
They're £400 each.
Ooh.
No way.
Yeah, each letter, 400 quid. So I'll buy them back at 50, darling, definitely.
50 minute, 55, 55, we're off now, 55. £400 each, these are.
They are.
That's £1,200.
It's £1,200 there. 95 rounded up to 100, surely, sir. At £95 it is. £100, thank you. At £100 bid at 100. He's crying upstairs. At £100 it is then. At £100. At £100. At 100. At £100. I'm selling that at £100. It'll get better, don't worry.
Well, there's no hiding it. Angus, Craig and Jonathan were hoping for a bit more. The next lot is another set of letters. Anyone here called Simon Callum Douglas, perchance?
Obviously, this is Strictly Come Dancing.
Hopefully, Angus starts the bidding slightly higher.
£70 start me. £70 at £70 a bid at 70 it is, then at 70. I mean, if you've got the other set, you'd probably want these to keep them together. You know, 75, we're off, 75, 75, 80, 80, £80, £80 at 80. Never had to work so hard as an auctioneer. 90, 90, 90. 5, 95, £95. I'm selling at 95.
Next, the white leather sofa from Craig's bedroom. Angus will have to do a hard sell on this.
42 on the net, 42, 45, 45, £45. 45 it is then. At £45 at 45.
The auction started well, but it seems to have lost its sparkle. Maybe the next item will jazz it up.
Now this has attracted a lot of attention. This is Craig's glittery ball. He's only got one.
It's a big one, though, darling.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're off at 110. At 110 it is then, 120 at £120 it is, 130, 150, 160. 170, yes! 170, 180, £180, 190, 190. I mean, this is iconic, isn't it? I mean, it really is. You know, this is, you think, Craig, this is what you think.
That's what my life has amounted to, darling.
And the bids keep rolling in.
460, 460, £460 it is then. I'm going to sell then at £460.
Yay!
It's a result.
The console table, there we go. That's nice, isn't it? £40 at 42.5, £45 at 45. We're all done. At 45 it is. The French Rococo style chest of drawers there. I've got 50. £55 it is then. 75. Selling that at 75.
There's just one item left. Giant sparkly-faced chair, anyone?
We've got a lot of interest in this. We're going to start really low, like at £10, and see how fast we can go, yep? £10 start, mate. 10, 15, 8, 15, 20, 5, 25, 30, 35, 35, 35, 35, 40, 40, 45, 45, 50, 50, 55, 60, 65, 60, 65, 65, 75, 80, 5, 95, 195, 100, 100, 110, 120, 130, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 300, 320, 340, 360, 420 at £420 rack. Imagine this in your living room on a North Yorkshire farm. We're all done this year, last chance. The gavel is up at £700.
And he paid a fiver for it.
And the auction is over.
And thank you, Craig.
I've loved it, darling.
And so have the lucky buyers who get to have a little Craig Revel Horwood brighten their homes. So how much have Craig and Jonathan made today?
So this is all to pay for the wedding, is it?
We're hoping to pay for the house, the new house.
My wedding cost me £5,000, so it's nearly doable, you know, because you've made £4,685.
Oh,
wow.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
4,685 quid.
Get some more
Love
plants
that.
on the way home.
Oh,
That's fantastic. Well, well done. Well done. That's great.
Wonderful. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. You two have been wonderful hosts, and it's been great having you at the sale. So have a safe trip home, and thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
We'll be
Thank
back.
you.
We'll be back.
Great.
Yeah,
because
we've got a new house to decorate.
Yeah, we've got a new house. I'm not buying furniture from stores anymore. I'm going to go to auction house. Thank you so
Brilliant.
much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Oh, that's good.
I know.
I'm really pleased with that.
I'm getting to flog some more stuff from that.
Yeah, I know.
I think, you know, Craig and Jonathan have had a really fun day out, and that's the important thing.
I really loved it. Really loved the auction. It's your first one, so what do you think?
Yeah, I know, I really enjoyed it. It's a lot more intense than I thought it would be.
They've brought a bit of glamour and glitz to Kirby Moorside.
Another job has come in, and Angus is ready to visit another celebrity with treasures to sell. This time from strictly judge to strictly competitor.
You do that one.
Hey up, you two.
Yeah,
You all right?
not bad.
Yeah?
You all right?
Good, yeah. Who fancies a long trip away?
Which way are you going?
Your neck of the woods, down south. Come on.
They've got a 4-hour journey to the leafy suburb of Ealing in West London to meet a legendary broadcaster. With over 30 years as one of the UK's top reporters, he's now retired from breaking the news, but remains one of our favourite journalists, John Sargent.
Well, I'm really excited about this. He was news journalist, but he was a political correspondent. He was war correspondent. So he's been involved with a lot of things.
John has invited Angus to see one particular item, although he's hoping John might be tempted to part with more.
I think he's going to have some good stuff. Yeah. Right, George, that's us. Do you want to guard the van? Because we'll have traffic wardens and stuff in London, and we don't have them round us, do we? Right, I'll see you in a bit, George. Cool.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
I was expecting you.
Thank you very much.
Right, come in.
Thank you very much. What a lovely place.
Our little home.
Since moving into this 150-year-old house 41 years ago, John and his wife have turned it into something of a museum with items they've collected over the years.
Right. This is our drawing room.
Well, I love your house already. I mean, very typical Victorian, the big high ceilings and these lovely windows.
Angus is like a kid in a sweet shop.
Fantastic overmantel mirror, isn't it?
Yes, we got that at an antique shop in Devon, and it cost something really a lot of money, like £67.
But it's wonderful.
John's wife, Mary, is the main collector in the family.
And this is just before we got married.
Yeah. Oh, you were very young there.
I was snatched, really, from cradle. And so we've been married 51 years.
51 years, that's quite an achievement.
And John has gone on to make many more achievements in his career as a war correspondent.
And I suppose I look back on going to Vietnam, or the Turks invading Cyprus, or the guerrilla war in Rhodesia, or any of the things that I covered, and thought, well, you know, the excitement is they chose me to report on behalf of everybody through the BBC, and I'm still very proud of that, because often it's frightening and you want to run, you just don't want to be there at all. And so to look back and think, no, I did go, and I went to these places and I did my best to report. So I'm proud of that.
Nice to go into a house and see lots of
lots of
things. Already, I can see wonderful things.
Now, all the things you see are wonderful, we want, thank you.
Maybe Angus can tempt John to part with something from another room.
This is our kitchen, right?
What a kitchen. I just love it. It's, you know, I think there's the Victorian style and everything. I just love the fact all the original features with the panel windows and all the ceiling rails. Fantastic.
But
not everything in the house is Victorian.
Now, these...
Yeah, I clocked those the moment I walked in the room.
All right, now, these are quite serious. This is up your street, really.
These early 20th century French glass bowls would sell very well at auction.
And it's lilac, that's what it is. It's,
Yep.
It's,
Lalique.
or lalique.
Depending how you pronounce it, but yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah. The
So
famous
it ought to be
French.
smartened up. And,
Yeah.
But of course we just use it for a fruit bowl. I mean,
But do you know what? I think it's wonderful that you use it, because so many
Yeah.
people have things, they're tucked in drawers, and I think people should appreciate them and use them, and very, very desirable.
yeah, no, that's great. So,
And I can't really take those, because then you wouldn't have a fruit bowl, would you?
no, we can't.
Johnny is unwavering. He's reluctant to let anything go. Angus is yet to clap eyes on the item John does want to sell. Nevertheless, Angus is enjoying going back in time.
I mean, do you know, one of the most amazing things about my job is going into other people's houses. And I love architecture. And, you know, John's got some amazing things, but for me, one of the greatest things is the house itself. It's wonderful. And, you know, John and Mary have done an amazing job of keeping it true to its origins. I always said I could never live in London, but if you've got a house like this, it'd be tempting.
Strong words from a dyed-in-the-wool Yorkshireman. But back to the job in hand.
Okay, well,
Right.
I suppose we ought to really perhaps have a look at a few things that you might consider
Yeah.
sending up to Yorkshire.
OK, well, let's just... So that's downstairs.
Finally.
So this is our special antiques room in the
Oh,
basement.
wow. 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 I mean, just straight away, the chest
Yeah.
on stand. Yeah. Wow. What's the story?
My stepfather bought a number of antiques. He was an Oxford Don, very clever man. Married my mother, which was a clever thing to do as well. And when he died, she obviously kept the stuff until, and then when she died, she passed it on to us.
Angus has struck gold.
That's the item I'm keen to sell.
It is superb, and it's lovely to come into a house, and I genuinely mean this, to see a proper antique.
Yeah.
And that is a superb example. OK, condition's not great, needs a little bit of work, and it's lost the odd little drop handle. That's not the end of the world. But overall, that is a proper antique, and it's an absolute joy to see. I'm so glad you rang me. It's definitely worth the trip down from Yorkshire.
The lacquered Chinese-style chest, known as chinoiserie, dates back to the late 1700s.
And where would this have been made?
It's most probably English. The Orient, it was an exciting new world, you know, at that time. You had these flavours, you know, because the British Empire, there was all these exotic sort of styles and influences coming in
Dragons.
to the country. And it was, if you were an affluent sort of family, to have that style recreated was, you know, a great thing. And that would have been an absolute work of art and picture in somebody's house. And it's exquisite.
This style of furniture is sought after, and Angus's estimate will reflect the current market trend. Certainly worth the trip south from Yorkshire.
I knew I had to get round to take it to auction, reluctantly so, but I just thought it was sitting in the basement and not playing a big enough part in my life to justify its existence. That's putting it in rather harsh terms. And I thought it'd be nice to just sell it and move on.
I think there's many family photos.
With the chest of drawers in the bag, Angus spots something else personal to John, which might sell at auction.
Oh, this is memoirs. John Sargent, give me 10 seconds.
Sometimes if I feel down, I just pick up my memoirs and I think, it's not bad.
All right, then.
Angus will get John to sign the book. But right now, he and George are going to have fun getting the precious chest onto the van.
Right, George, here it is. I'm excited about this, George. You like that?
It's a delicate operation. One false move and it could all end in tears. With the chest of drawers safely loaded, there's one last item to go to North
We've just got the
Yorkshire.
book to get.
And an autograph.
Right, there we are.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
The person who reads that will know more about me than I know.
Well, John, thank you so much for inviting me into your home and sending me back with the most wonderful piece of furniture.
Thanks for coming. No, it's been very good fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Brilliant. See you on auction day. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Well, I was delighted that Angus liked the chest of drawers because it's a fine piece of furniture. I've been to auctions before and they can be a bit frightening. You suddenly think, this is part of your life going away.
I'm really excited to get those drawers back. There's going to be a few surprised people, I think. They're going to go down very well.
After over a 4-hour drive from John Sargent's to North Yorkshire, at Kirby Moorside, it's up to Pete and George to unload John's items.
So what we got?
What we got? We got stuff from John Sargent. I got a book, and then there's a chest of drawers on there and all.
And all?
And all. And all. And all.
George's usual job is cataloguing. Not loading vans with big pieces of furniture. He hopes expert shifter Pete approves.
What do you think? Have I done well?
Yeah, who put it in? Did you?
We both did, to be fair.
Angus as well.
Yeah. He helped
It's
me.
funny when he helps, isn't it? Yeah, it's not often, but yeah.
18th century chinoiserie doesn't often come through the Yorkshire Auction House.
I wonder what you used to use in this. Socks.
Then
John Sargent's drawers will be the key lot in the next auction. Angus's mum has come to see what's in the sale.
let me show you something really good. Now, you'll approve of this, Mother.
Oh, yes.
Look at that.
Oh, that's nice. And it's period, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, no, George III.
Yes. Oh, I do like
Conditions a little bit, you know.
Not...
But it's a proper antique, lovely frieze drawer on it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes, on sound. Lovely original handles.
Yes. Oh, I do like
It's a
that.
bit damaged, but it's lovely, isn't it?
Well, it would come back.
Yeah, no.
Yes. It's well worth restoring the bits that do need it. Actually, it is having a bit of a revival anyway, isn't it, chinoiserie?
The market
Yes.
for this
It's
is
quite hot.
fantastic.
Yes.
You know, we can sell this. There's a really good market. Most watched item in the sale.
Really?
Online. Went all the way to London for that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Yes.
I had to drive through the centre of London, I tell you.
Oh, that was a bit brave.
It was an experience for a Yorkshire lad.
It would be. It's not like going around the Kirby roundabout, is it?
No.
No.
One week later, John Sargent arrives for his auction.
John's chinoiserie chest on stand. Superb thing, a proper antique. I think it's going to sell really well. We've had a lot of interest. There'll be a lot of people on the internet. We might have some phone bids. Certainly, I know there's a couple of locals that are keen on it, so we'll probably have a few room bids, commission bids, you know, bids come in from all over. You've got 2 internet bidding platforms on there. There's 2 people up there with me, so you've got bids coming in from all over the world. It's currently the most watched item online, and I'm not surprised.
Well, I mean, officially it's down to go between 1,500 and 2,000. Well, I'm hoping for a bit more, just a little bit more. We've come all this way. Like, it'd be great if we could just, I don't know, give something, an exciting figure. That would be nice.
Morning,
Hello.
John.
Right,
How
what do
you
we
doing?
do? Very nice to see you.
And you, good trip up?
Terrific, yeah. How much interest has there been in my chest of drawers?
Well, you know I liked your chest of drawers.
Does anybody else like it?
They love it.
Oh, good.
It's the star of the show. We've had a lot of inquiries, got some phone lines, commission bids. I think you'll be happy.
OK.
Assisting Angus today with online bids are Emma and Heather on the rostrum, Harriet is taking phone bids, and George is portering.
And we're very delighted to have today John Sargent, esteemed journalist that's come up from London today.
First, John's #1 best-selling memoirs.
The book there, John Sargent, give me 10 seconds.
This is brilliant.
Brilliant book. Somebody in the room buys it, we might even be able to get it personalised, you never know. There we go, so the book there, where it should be for this, and I've got £10 bid. £10, I bid at £10 at 10. It's a good read. It is, it's really good.
Very good, brilliant read.
£10 at £10 it is, then at £10 at 10. First and only bid, 12, sir. £12 at £12 at 12. 15, 18, 18, I've got 20, one more for you. 22 £22 it is, then we're all done at 22. I'm going to sell then at £22.
Sold! to Angus's in-laws.
Right, that's paid for my dinner.
John was famous for being surprised by Margaret Thatcher live on TV. Let's hope he gets a nice surprise when his chest of drawers goes under the gavel.
Yeah, there we go. So I'll show most watched item in the sale. This one, there we go. A lot of watches online. A lot of interest come from a very nice house in London this way. We even get to London as Yorkshire lads. There we go. So the lovely George III chest on stand there we go, at £500, on commission at 500, 520, it's in out. We are off, stonking ahead. 600, 700, 800, 800, 900, 980, 980 are at 980, 1,050, 1,050 it is now, 1,050, 1,100, 1,150, 1,200, £1,200 at 1,200 it is.
There aren't many bidders in the room, but the internet is exploding.
Sale room's catching up. 1,200, 1,250, 1,250, 1,250, 1,250, 1,350, 1,350. Phone, yes, 1,400, 1,400 at 1,400, 1,450, 1,500, 1,450. Phone's out at 1,400, 1,500 here. 1,550 at 1,600.
With the phone bidder out, it's now between online buyers and a local dealer in the room.
1,700, there's about 4 of you bidding. At 1,700 it is. 1,750, 1,800. 1,800 in the room now at 1,800, 1,850, 1,900, 1,950, 2,000, 2,1 at 2,1, 2,150, 2,2, 2,2, it's a good thing this at 2,250, 2,3, 2,350, 2,4, 2,5, 2,6, 2,7, 2,8, at 2,850, 2,9, sir, 2,9.
The bids just keep on coming.
Gone quiet on the net now, 3,000, fresh bid now. We move to the sale room. The bid's in the room. You all came in. There's 2 of you on each platform. One of you needs to bid, 3,250.
Oh, God. 3,250, that's good.
2 of you on each platform. 3,3 in the room.
Come on. Keep it going.
3,4 it is. 3,400, 3,450. 3,5, 3,5. At £3,500 it is then. 3,5. 3,7. The bid is at 3,700. We all done. I'm going to sell then at 3,750. The room is back in.
Don't be shy. There's no point being shy. Just
Hovering on the sale room in easy line.
because if I wave, they'll think I'm buying it back.
3,900, 3,900 online. We all done. 3,950 for you, sir. No. We all done at 3,900.
That is marvellous. I mean, it really is.
The winning bid went to an antique dealer in Preston.
Very impressive, you know, in Yorkshire. They know what they want and they're prepared to bid for it. Wow, what about that? Well done.
Yeah.
Magnificent result.
So you're going to be walking away with 3,537. And of course, £22 for your book.
Well, I know. That's amazing. Can I sign it with somebody here?
Yes, there is, yeah.
I've had a marvellous time, and I've sold a chest, which I'm sad to see go, obviously. But on the other hand, it was in a room downstairs at home. And what a terrific result, and what fun it's been.
On sale day, you know, it can, when something's going really well, you know, you get an adrenaline rush because you've got bids potentially coming from lots of different streams, and you've just got to channel those and control that and see where it ends up. It's even better when something good sells well.
On the edge of the Yorkshire moors is the picturesque town of Kirby Moorside, home to auctioneer Angus Ashworth.
220, 220, 230, 240.
He's on a mission to help celebrities.
Hello, darling.
Hello!
Hi.
Angus, hello,
Anneka.
come on in.
Morning.
Turn their odds and ends
Maybe we should have a look round.
If you're ready for this,
Yeah.
it's a big place.
into piles of cash.
So do you think they're worth a bob or two?
Somebody would give you 10 quid for that.
Clearly not you.
Who signed it?
Yeah.
Sarah Baker?
Yeah.
Worth a fortune.
I think it's quite a rare thing. You're looking at about sort of 500 to 800.
OK.
Come along as he visits their homes
Gin and tonic?
This is just idyllic, isn't it?
It's pretty special, I have to say.
and uses his expert knowledge
That is actually a great find, but I can sell that all day long.
to uncover hidden gems,
That cat is pretty calm.
I'm going to introduce you to Lycra Room.
Wow.
Sentimental family heirlooms.
I went on holiday with my mother on this little railway.
And the just plain weird.
No, Anthony said have a nosy in his cupboards, but what on earth?
Then invites them back to his Yorkshire Auction House
580, 600 is it now?
to watch him put them under his gavel.
Oh my God, he's like a magician, isn't he?
Angus and his team of experts undertake around 150 collections a year.
Next is reference 27367, lot number 14.
Today's job involves a visit to a woman who has sold her home and urgently needs it clearing. With the day forecast to be a scorcher, Angus is going to need some help.
Hey, Nick.
Oh, Angus,
You're never going to guess where I'm about to go.
give us a clue.
Think helicopters, jumpsuits,
Pass.
and you've got a bit of a challenge.
Challenge Anneka Rice?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, really.
Brilliant. She's a bit of a childhood heroine of mine.
Well, I
I
know. Me too. I mean, you know.
All right, so who's going?
It's Jack. I did pull names out of a hat because I thought there'd be a lot of you wanting to go.
Yeah.
Should be good. Hopefully not too challenging. All right, see you when we get back.
All right, see you later.
Anneka Rice, blonde-haired ball of energy, has graced our TV screens for more than 40 years. From travelogues and treasure hunt to children's telly and Challenge Anneka, she's done it all.
I suppose people know me not so much as any particular programme. There's just a generic thing involving helicopters, some lycra, a panting cameraman following me, jumping off a cliff. It's sort of weird subliminal messages that people get when they think of me.
Angus and Jack are embarking on a sweltering 5-hour drive to London.
Do you remember watching her at Challenge Anneka?
It was a bit before my time. I mean, did it finish sort of early 90s?
Yeah, it would have been.
I mean, I was 94, so...
Oh, God, you're so young, Jack.
Anneka's home is a 6-bedroom Georgian property on the bank of the Thames in southwest London.
I bought this house about 35 years ago, and my children were born here, grown up here. I've had busy production offices here. It's a very, very busy, noisy, bustly, glorious house. And sadly, it's time to go. We have to move on.
Anneka is moving in just a few weeks' time, and because she's downsizing, she wants Angus and Jack to shift some of the biggest, heaviest items in the home. Lovely day for it.
I am melting.
Hi, mate.
I can't believe the day we come to London, which is always warmer than Yorkshire, it's the hottest day on British records. 40 degrees.
We're a sucker for punishment, aren't we?
It's ridiculous, this. Give me the snow any day.
The daunting prospect of shifting all the stuff in this house that has been collected over decades, but I don't know where to start. And I really trust Angus, and I just think he'll do a really good job.
Just keep those cold drinks coming, Anneka, and he'll be fine.
I'll go knock on a door and then I'll give you a shout.
Radio.
Angus, hello,
Anneka.
come on in, hi.
Thank you.
Welcome to the abode.
Whoa, what a wonderful place you have.
Thank you so much.
So you're moving house and you've got a surplus of...
Downsizing to a flat.
It's that thing. Children
Now
have
I
left
just
the
want,
nest.
now I
and you
want
just...
an IKEA flat pack. That's it.
That's fine. And look at this.
Just straight away.
I know.
Within 2 seconds, you found my rear of the year.
Yeah.
And all this stuff has just been cupboards. Now I'm getting it out, and the kids going, that's so cool. Don't give that away.
No.
The Rear of the Year award is firmly off limits, but there are plenty of other things here up for grabs.
Snooker table.
Excellent.
That chair.
Nice little wainscot chair. Yeah, nice. There's going to be quite a few bits, isn't there?
There's going to be a lot of bits. Honestly, by the time we go up 2 floors, you're going to be...
I'm going to feel like I'm doing
yourself.
Challenge Anneka when we're running up and down carrying furniture out.
It's only been 2 minutes, and that's 2 hefty pieces earmarked for auction.
So, we come to the first room over the river, which is unbelievable.
I mean, what a view, though.
I spent my life filming abroad, because I used to do sort of holiday programmes. And so this house was just such a refuge, such a safe place for me to come back to. So this is a very significant room to me.
Yeah, well, I can see why it's stunning, isn't it?
Yeah. So the piece in here that I was interested in you to take a look at was this secretaire.
Wonderful. It's very nice, isn't it?
The secretaire, which translates as secretary, is actually a style of bookcase cum writing desk that originated in France. This one is around 250 years old.
It's a wonderful piece, and I find them very practical, you know, as a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
The market's dropped a bit on them. I think, you know, already what I've seen so far, I think really, you know, these items going to one of our country house sort of fine art sales.
Another floor? Unless there's anything else in here. I mean, I know you've got your eye on Cindy and Patch, which are my original dolls. So they're 55 years old or something. I can see that's not floating his boat. Come on, Angus.
They were your dolls as a little girl?
Yeah. Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
With Cindy and Patch not cutting Angus's mustard, the challenge rolls on.
So I'm going to introduce you to Lycra Room.
Wow. I mean, as a young lad watching Anneka Rice jumping out of helicopters in very tight, full-length bodysuits, you would have thought all these years later I'd be in Anneka's bedroom looking at all her jumpsuits.
But I wear them the whole time I was filming.
You still wear them now?
I wore that one there last week after filming a sitcom for Channel 4. Well, my kids, there's one son in particular who used to borrow them to go clubbing in. I mean, do you want to put one on?
Well, I haven't quite got your fine figure, Anneka.
Something to tell your wife when you get home.
Right, stretchy, that's all right.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's got A for Angus. This is perfect. You chose the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just
I'll just,
a bit.
you know, just
Yeah,
you know.
look, it's great.
You don't have any in tweed, do you, Anneka?
I mean, if you're still wearing them, I don't suppose you'd want to sell any of them, would you?
Not at this point, because they're just really useful. I do wear them a lot, weirdly.
The wardrobe they're kept in, however, is going in the van. While Jack starts sizing up the furniture, Anneka has some unique pieces to show Angus.
So, this is my art studio, which is normally knee-deep in cloths and dust sheets and goodness knows what.
You're quite the artist.
Art is something I'm very passionately involved with. I paint with a wonderful tribe of painters once a week, and when in between filming and doing other things, you know, that is how I relax. I'd love you to take that plans chest.
The plans chest, yep, definitely.
Plans chests were designed to hold architectural drawings.
I do these very, very sketchy, quick life drawings.
I mean, cows, great subject.
I love cows. It's weird. I love dancers and I love cows. We can go find a field and a cow.
I'm not
you
very
could get
good
your
at
kit
painting.
off.
Right.
And I could do still life of the cow and Angus in the field.
Right.
Now, that's not an offer you get every day, eh, Angus?
As we speak, he's just getting his kit off and I'm going to get painting. You undressed yet, Angus?
To spare his blushes, Anneka's allowed Angus to keep his clobber on for the rest of the tour.
Angus, come and take a seat. I wondered if you'd like this sofa.
I would. Is that a George Smith?
It's a George Smith. I've had it restored and it's just been reupholstered. It is quite a big piece of furniture.
They are big, but there's a good market for it.
So comfy.
British furniture maker George Smith produces upholstered pieces inspired by classic vintage design.
Yeah, all we need now is a few chaps to load the van and
Yes.
just...
Guys, can you start? Thank you.
Unfortunately, that's your gig, Angus. Easy does it, boys.
It's what you'd expect to find in a big country house, is a big sofa like this. Very Victorian in terms of its supports. It's in good condition and, you know, probably looking at about £1,000, £1,500 on that. They always sell well, so, yeah, good start.
I didn't think, again, Angus would be interested in taking that because it's a huge beast of a thing. And his eyes lit up. That sofa went in his van before I could change my mind.
The van might be filling up, but Angus has just discovered the delights of Anneka's garage.
These used to do really well. Coffers, or, I mean, most people would call them a blanket box. They're basically a storage chest, and these would have been candle boxes originally. You'd have had your candles laid in there, obviously, pre-electricity days. And this, it's a relatively early one, because if you look at the hinges, it's known as a wire hinge or a pin hinge, as opposed to a traditional lever hinge that we'd associate furniture with now. So it's probably 18th century.
What's nice is this could go in any home, and its utility, it's still useful nowadays.
End of the bed, we all need storage space, don't we? And yeah, it's a lovely thing. It's going to be a heavy thing, because it's oak.
Yeah, we like heavy things, don't we?
Well, shall we get it on the van?
Yeah, perfect.
Right.
The boys might be making light work of that chest, but the afternoon sun is taking its toll, and this treasure hunt is turning into Challenge Angus.
Still a lot to get on yet, and it's just a matter of basically playing Tetris. At this rate, with the heat, I think Anneka will be doing her still life naked drawing of me at the end of the day, because I'll be ready to get my clothes off.
This job is clearly a marathon, not a sprint, with a bit of weightlifting thrown in for good measure. And it's good to see you using every last inch of that van.
You know, so if somebody died of heat exhaustion, like us, the coffin would be laid out on the table like this. Look, it's perfect length for me.
Nice try, Angus, but there's no rest for the wicked.
I sort of feel I need to go and get my Challenge Anneka clipboard. Do you think it's too late to say I'd like my sofa back?
It's been a backbreaker of a day for the boys, but they're nearly done. The final item is a garden swing chair. Fortunately, it's in bits.
Oh my God. And what happens now? It goes off to Yorkshire?
Back to Yorkshire.
And I'll see you there?
And we'll see you on auction day. It's been hard work, but you know what? It's been a wonderful day. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hosting Anneka there. I think she's going to enjoy it. And yeah, I'm going to go get some water and hot van back to Yorkshire. Brilliant. Thank you. Bye.
After a sweltering 5-hour trek back to North Yorkshire, Jack has enlisted Pete to help shift Anneka's things into the sale room.
Ready?
Doesn't look like the sofa's made it very far, though.
It's a nice sofa, this, isn't it?
It is today.
It is. I mean, Anneka was a bit before my time, but do you remember her on telly?
Yeah. She was very energetic, I must admit.
Anyway, back to it, boys. That pine shelving won't shift itself.
Well.
Meanwhile, Angus is enjoying the relative cool inside the sale room.
I absolutely love wainscot chairs. And wainscot basically is, in simple terms, is panelling. So it's a panel back chair.
These oak chairs were common in early 17th century England and colonial America.
The trouble with this one is it's actually a little bit on the low side. Now, it's possible that it's been cut down, and that's quite common in older chairs. Things were used and repurposed, and, you know, nothing was really thrown out. So if there was a bit of rot on there, we just cut it down a bit, and that's fine. It's not going to do fortunes, sort of £100 to £200. This is a fairly clean, tidy, but plain wainscot.
The big day has arrived, and Anneka has made the trip up from London to see how her things get on at auction.
Hi, Angus. Hello again.
Anneka.
Oh, it's not quite so hot this time.
No, it's a lot cooler, so it's still got a bit of sunshine.
So is this where it all happens?
No, well, this is the sort of goods in, say, organised chaos, but
Okay.
yeah, it's just through here.
Since the clearance, Anneka's been thinking about one of the items Angus took.
Oh, there it is.
She's come up with a new plan for the snooker table.
I put it on social media, and I've had the most lovely, you know, lots of people getting in touch in the area. And as a youth group, which sound really nice, and they provide a vital service to the community, and they would love it.
We're more than happy. Once it gets all arranged, we'll deliver it to them and get it all set up for
That would be
them.
so. I'm now very excited about this snooker table. This is now my favourite item.
With the snooker table destined for charity, fingers crossed today's buyers will go potty for the rest of her things.
It's lovely to see Angus again. It's lovely to be here. And I'm rather looking forward to it. And hope that Angus is, on form today. Hope he's not having an off day. I suppose the thing I feel the most pang for is my plan chest, which is where I used to keep all my artwork. So that was always in my art studio. So I hope that goes to a nice home.
So strong is the interest in today's sale, several prospective buyers have already registered commission bids for some of the lots. Tracking online bids are sale room assistant Jasper and specialist valuer Charlotte, while receptionist Joe is on phone duty. Anticipation is building and the sale room is ready.
Right, it starts off nice and low, but we'll get there. We'll start off low and see where we get to. Next run of items came out of a wonderful home.
First up, it's the George Smith sofa.
600, 620, 640, 680, 700, 800, 900, 1,000.
An online bidder is battling it out with someone on the phone line.
1,400, 1,500, 1,600.
We've had this sofa a long time.
1,700.
It's a real family favourite. It's just been upholstered.
1,750, 1,800, 1,900. At £1,900 it is. Surely any advance now at £1,900. They don't come up very often. At £1,950. Thank you. 2,000. At £2,000, you're making me work for it. At £2,000 it is. Then at 2,000, we're all done.
It's gone.
We're all done. The gavel is up. I'm going to sell at £2,000.
It's gone to the internet bidder.
I'm going to be a disaster at this. Honestly, it's too emotional. Because I'm just seeing that sofa and all my kids sitting on it. Oh my God. I need some therapy or some gin.
Oh dear, poor Anneka. And now another family seat is going to pluck at your heartstrings.
One of my favourite things in the sale, this wonderful hardwood swing bench. There we go, where should be this? 180, 190, 200, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290.
I've got photos of my kids from very small right through all their exam revision. Everything was done on that swing bed.
I'm going to have to hurry now, round it up to 500. 500, thank you. 520, thank you, madam. At 520 it is, then at 520. At 520 it is, then at 520. We're all done for the swing bench at 520.
It's another sale.
Oh, I hope that goes to a lovely home.
The pine shelving is up next.
This is my favourite.
Quality dresser is that there.
But the trouble is it's so huge, it actually doesn't fit into most people's homes.
340 in the room, at 340. Bids of the room at 360, back in. 380.
Come on, I don't want this to go for nothing, it's too special.
No pressure, Angus.
The bid's at 380. At £380 it is that I'm selling at 380.
A sizable sum for a hefty piece. Next up, the wardrobe that housed all of Anneka's iconic jumpsuits.
360. 380, 400. At £400 it is. At £400, at 400. At £400 it is then. 420 is it now?
Come on, it's the lycra cupboard.
All done at 400.
Gone, but not forgotten. Now it's the turn of the wainscot chair.
The 18th century and later, £90 at 90, 5, 100, 110. At 110 it is then at 110, 120.
And it's a very nice chair, actually. It's very comfy, surprisingly.
120. Commission bids out. At 120 it is then at 120. 130 anywhere is it for the wainscot? At 120.
Not a bad price at all. Up next is the piece about which Anneka was having a few last-minute jitters.
The plan chest, £380 we're at 380. £380 for the plan chest there at 380. 380, 400 anywhere is it now? At 400 anywhere is it now? 420, thank you, 420. At 420 it is then, we're all done. Good price for a plan chest. I'm selling then at 420.
Now, is anyone in the market for Anneka's mahogany secretaire?
I had to carry this down a flight of stairs, so I know how heavy it is. There we go, on the hottest day on British records. 300, 300, 340, we're up to 340 at 340, 360, 380, 380, 400 at £400, 420. 420 it is then at 440, 460, 460, 480, we're off now. 500 and bit, 600, 700.
I think I'm high energy, and Angus is sort of off the scale.
900, sale room, you're out. 920, 940, 940, 940, 980, round it up. £1,000 for me now, please.
The room may be out, but the bids keep coming.
1,200 on the phone. £1,300 bid on the phone at 1,300. 1,350. 1,400 for you. Yes. 1,400 on the phone. Final call for the internet bid. I'm going to sell to the phone at 1,000.
Come on, keep going.
1,450, just in time. Rounded up to 1,500. I'm going to sell then the lovely secretaire at £1,450. Thank you.
Let's hope the buyer doesn't live in a top floor flat. So will the final lot be able to light up anyone's afternoon?
Here's the pair of Indian-style table lamps there with the globule hammered metal bodies there and shades. There we go. Where should be this? I've got 40, 2, 5, 8, 50, 50 and bid at 50. The pair at 50. They're nicer those, aren't they? At 50. In the internet catch up. It's all online now. 70 and nearly fell off the rostrum. 75, 75, 80. £80 a bid at 80 it is, then 85, 85, 85. Don't miss out now. At 85 the pair. At 85, 90, £90 a bid at 90, £95 at 95. Round it up for me, surely. £100 a bid, thank you. 100, 110, 110. 120 is it now? At £110 at 110, at 120, 120, 130, 130. At 130 it is, then at 130, 140, 140, 150, 160. 160 it is, then at £160 at 160. 170 at 170 the pair. 180, 180, 180. Don't mistake it, at 180 the pair of table lamps. At 180 we're all done. Gavel is up at 180.
A fitting finale to a stonking sale. But once Angus has tallied up the total, will Anneka be happy with her takings?
You know, that was quite an emotional... Yeah. I mean, really, I was so overwhelmed by your performance. And, I mean, there were a couple of things where I went, oh...
Well, you'll be taking home £5,649.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
You are very welcome.
Thank you so much, Angus.
And, of course, I haven't forgotten, we'll be delivering the snooker table and setting that up.
Thank you so much.
We've had a wonderful time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Funnily enough, at the end, when he came and told me the money side of it, I'd even forgotten that was that was a thing, because the whole process for me has been about moving on. Without him, we'd still be in that house going, we can't move.
I'm absolutely delighted. The secretaire did incredibly well. All in all, I think it's been a great day for everybody, and I think a little bit emotional for Anneka seeing them go, but some good results, and I'm certainly happy.
Angus clocks up around 60,000 miles a year, travelling to house clearances. Today he's hitting the road with specialist valuer Nick, and they're heading deep into enemy territory. Well, Lancashire to be precise.
We're going over the hills, over the Pennines.
Over the hills and far away.
They're responding to an SOS from an actor known to millions across the country.
Interestingly, he's recently just got an MBE for services to military charities.
Well, that'd be right up your street there, won't it?
I don't know if you know that I was in the army, but...
Yeah, so I had an inkling.
Who can it be?
I suppose you come this way that often, do you, Angus? I mean, I know you're loath to leave Yorkshire.
Angus and Nick have driven 90 miles into deepest Lancashire to meet someone familiar to millions. Antony Cotton, one of Britain's most beloved TV stars, has scooped multiple awards in a 2-decade-long career, most notably as Sean Tully, resident of the nation's most famous soap street.
I thought I'd do 3 months at Coronation Street and that'd be it. And then 20 years later, here we are.
Another huge part of Antony's life is raising money for military charities.
Truth is, I get asked this a lot, why do you do it? What made you get into it? How did it happen? The honest answer is my friends that are serving or have served, it's them. It's my way of saying thank you to them for their service.
Antony will be donating proceeds from his sale to military charities. What's more, he can't wait to have a clear out.
My mum and dad, they live round the corner, so it's easier for them to bring stuff round. You know, if I lived in Australia, they wouldn't be bringing no decanters round, would they? My mum will often turn up. Just brought this round because I wondered if you fancied having it. So it's gone from being in cupboards in their house to cupboards in my house.
Oh, here we are. Not bad, Nick, was it?
Perfect.
Well, I'll go find Anthony and I'll give you a shout, Nick.
Yeah, OK.
All right, I'll leave you the keys.
All right, thanks. I'll just get the van ready then.
I've asked Angus here because I'm fascinated by all the stuff that his job entails. You know, he's a Yorkshireman, he'd nip a current in half. So we're going to get the real deal with him.
Hello.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very good. We don't normally let white roses in here, but we'll make the exception. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to Lancashire.
Once upon a time, Antony's home was a working farmhouse, although you'd never know it now, judging from the inside.
Have you been here a long time, or?
I bought the house about 17 years ago and then renovated it ourselves, and so it was a proper labour of love. It took a couple of years.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, what a job.
This is the champagne corner. These are stuff that I've bought in the past or I've been given on opening nights, and because I'm sentimental, I can't bear the idea of drinking it.
Yeah.
And what happens is you don't drink it.
And champagne should be drunk.
You're absolutely right, champagne should be drunk. So I've had a word with myself,
Yeah.
and if it can raise a bit of money that I can give to one of my military charities, then I'm willing to do that.
Fantastic.
So these are the best of the lot.
Yeah, you've got some good stuff. I mean, you've got proper champagne, haven't we, you know?
So do you think they're worth a bob or two?
Yeah, they will be. I'll have a look at prices, but they will be.
The champagne will be auctioned by the bottle, and if it all sells, it'll be happy hour for Antony. Right, what's next?
This is what I would call assorted tat. Now, my mum said, oh, this might be worth something. I don't think it is. She said that was to celebrate the opening of the St Lawrence Seaway.
Not a great deal.
OK.
No.
This is Royal Worcester
Yes.
cake stand. It's a nice decanter set there. Somebody like that for Christmas,
It is
wouldn't they?
nice, yeah.
What about your time on Corrie, Antony? Got any mementos of that?
It's a model of the street, and they all come in separate little pieces.
OK, yeah.
And basically what I do is if I see one of them online, I go and buy them because then I will donate them to charities, sign them, and then they can sell them and raise some money for their charities. They're very rare now because they're not made anymore. So we could maybe send that, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's great.
You have a go through all that.
OK.
And then the rest of it, see what you find.
I'll go get Nick and
Go and get
we'll make
Nick.
a start.
Amongst Antony's collection of quirky goodies, Angus needs to find items that can make some serious coin for charity. So today, the heat is on.
There's a lot of stuff there, but it's very neat, pristine, behind cupboard doors. So I think I'm going to root through all these cupboards, basically, and see what we can find.
Today, both Angus and Nick will need to bring their A game.
Nick.
Angus. Yes.
How you doing? You all right?
Not too bad.
Good.
How did it go?
All right, actually. He's great. I think there'll be a few bits you're interested in. We're just going to have a rummage.
That's the spirit, Angus. Get stuck in. You never know what might crop up.
It's a good house, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
He's got some quirky stuff, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Obviously a big football fan as well.
Yeah, clearly.
Angus is really lovely. He's currently upstairs in my office having a right old rummage. I hope he finds something he goes, this is worth 10 grand. Yes. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
Keep the faith, Antony. If anyone has mastered the art of a good rummage, it's Angus. And Nick's not too shabby either.
Oh, box of Caesar's, something from Caesar's Palace.
That's quite cool, actually.
A 1950s box of matchbooks from an iconic hotel in Las Vegas just might catch fire at the auction.
That'd be all right, you know.
OK, well, I'll pop them to one side.
Yeah.
I've got some proper 1980s electronica here, though.
It's like what people wear nowadays, isn't it? Where they have these watches that do everything.
Smartwatches, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like an
it.
early smartwatch.
It was the first time Seiko produced watches with screens. Even James Bond swapped out his Rolex for a Seiko.
I mean, it would appeal to watch collectors, but also there's a big trend now, isn't there? People collecting early technology, isn't there? And this ties into both markets, really.
And it's all got its box and everything, but what do you think something like that would actually be worth?
I think maybe sort of 60 to 80, 70 to 100, something like that.
The Seiko watch is a total surprise because I'd completely forgotten I had it. I think I must have been 10, so what's that, about 12 years old, maybe? Will I get away with that? No.
While Nick starts packing up the vintage gadgets, Angus wants a closer look at Antony's Coronation Street miniature.
We couldn't come to Antony's and not get a bit of Coronation Street. So you could have bought these individually, and then you would have aimed to get the whole street. And actually, they don't come up very often. I've probably, in my lifetime, probably only sold one set, maybe. I mean, I don't think it's particularly huge money, maybe 50 to 100 pounds. If we can get Antony to sign it with his character name and signature, that might add a bit of value to some die-hard Coronation Street fans.
They're special, and you don't see them in their full, you know, people take the houses and have got bits missing off it, whereas it's a full set. So I've got one still, so that's why I'm happy for one to go.
Meanwhile, Angus is digging even deeper.
What on earth?
The latest pick is a total mystery.
Antony?
Yes?
Found something a bit odd in your cupboard. Why have you got, like, noses?
Right, these are... I see how this looks weird. These are prosthetic noses, and they are from... they are Ian McKellen's noses, and they are Gandalf's.
Wow. So, I mean, you're a massive Lord of the Rings fan, then?
Fan of the books as a child, and also a fan of the films because my friend Ian was in them. So, and then I got to go and visit The Hobbit as it was being filmed. It was the best 6 weeks of my life. So I treasure those.
OK, we'll put those back in the cupboard.
They're nothing to be sniffed at, Angus.
This is why I love my job. You keep getting surprises. Never before have I opened the cupboard to find Ian McKellen's Gandalf's nose. Yeah, I think I'll remember that one for a while.
It's been a busy 6 hours at Antony's home, but Angus and Nick are finally done. And with the van loaded up, it's almost time to head back to Kirby Moorside.
Come to say bye.
Yeah, well, we're all done and loaded.
Thank you very much for bringing your Yorkshire charm. We've really, really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. We'll see you on auction day.
Yes, we can't wait.
Right, hit the road.
Right. Safe journey. I've been to auctions, yes, but I've never been the person that's kind of behind the gavel selling stuff. So it's going to be exciting. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Antony, he's a seriously nice guy, and he's got a few interesting bits. You know, champagne. Who doesn't like a glass of bubbly? So that's going to sell well, but he's giving all the money to charity, and we're going to raise as much money as we can, and we've got to show, really, Lancashire that Yorkshire can get good prices, don't we? Yeah, got to do a good job on this one.
Angus is back on home turf. Eager to inspect the latest haul is valuer Mark.
Oh, you're right, Mark.
Oh, Angus, how was your trip?
It was all right. Do you know what? Considering it was Lancashire, it was very nice. We've got a load of champagne, Mark.
Always popular.
There's also some good, there's some good names in there. So, yeah, they're all bottles he's been given over the years, and his champagne fridge was full, so surplus to requirement.
Brilliant.
Yeah. You can have a good party with that, Mark.
Definitely.
Meanwhile, inside, valuers Jack and Charlotte are giving Antony's mum's glassware a more detailed examination.
The thing that will sell it is because it's cut glass. It's not just ordinary glass. That's the one thing you always find with decanters. The one thing they always lose is the stopper.
Yeah, or it damages.
Or it damages. I mean, especially in older models. I mean, price-wise, it's not fantastic, as we know. There's still certain pieces do very well. I mean, of course, Lalique, the big seller. There's actually a Lalique decanter sold not that long ago for about $127,000. And the thing is, with quite a few of these items, you can do certain things. I mean, you could have that as a fancy sweet bowl.
Yeah.
With a nice little lid. You could put that as a goblet for your flowers. But my mum, what she does, they fill it up with bubble bath. So they empty their bubble bath, so it's a bit of a fancy thing for pouring your bath.
Just make sure you don't get it mixed up with the sherry decanter. Antony's got an eclectic collection of gear going under the gavel. And each item needs to be researched, catalogued and photographed in plenty of time before auction day comes around.
This is a matchbox set from Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Price-wise, certain memorabilia from the Las Vegas period does very well. If it was the Flamingo, which was the first casino in Nevada, I think we would probably put it at a bit of a higher reserve. For example, there was a sale recently in Los Angeles of a large collection of mob-related items, including 2 of the chips that were at the beginning of the Flamingo's creation. The $10 chip went for near $20,000. And it just gives you an idea of how these pieces of history from that period in America just sort of bring out people's interest and pique their collective buzz to get items.
As the bidders gather for the auction, Antony's braved the trip across the Pennines for the big day.
It'd be great to see Anthony today. He's got his official day pass that allows somebody from Lancashire to come into Yorkshire, so that's all fine and above board.
Hello, we meet again.
Oh, we do.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Welcome to Yorkshire.
Is it busy?
Quite a few people in. There'll be a lot online, and hopefully there's some champagne connoisseurs out there.
I'm so excited. This is like my heaven. Yes.
Brilliant. Well, come on in.
Thank you very much.
With a few minutes to spare before his first lot, Antony takes the chance to say goodbye to his goodies.
I'm most interested to see how the little bits that have been gathering dust are going to do. The watch and stuff that I've had in my life forever, but I've never really given 2 thoughts about because they've just been part of my childhood.
Antony is donating the proceeds of today's sale to charity, so Angus has an added incentive to secure maximum bids. As Jasper and Jack fire up the monitors and James gets to portering, it's showtime!
By special permission, we've left a little bit of Lancashire into Yorkshire to come over the border.
Quiet down in the front. The first lot is one of the most famous addresses in the northwest of England.
This is Coronation Street. You might not actually know it, but they don't have a real street, they just do it in miniature. And they're signed on the base and signed on Anthony's character's house. Where should be for this? £30?
Okay.
£30 start me at £30, let's go. £30 for the whole of Coronation Street. 32, 5 on it, 35, £35 at 35, 35, 38, 40.
The pressure.
42, 45, at 45, 48 back in at 48, 50, 50. It's in the room at 50. At £50 it is then. At £50 you've got 1 fan. At £50 it is then at 50. At £50 at 50. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next up, 3 lots from Antony's mum, starting with her collection of decorative ceramics.
There we go, where should be for this? £20 start me. £20 start me at £20 at 20, surely. £20, anywhere is it now? This lovely little mixed lot of ceramics there at £20 at 20, at 20. These were your mums, weren't they? We don't want her to
These
cry.
were my mums.
£20 start me, 20 and bid, thank you. £20 it is then at 20. Thank you.
Have we sold them?
Yeah.
Mega.
Sold to someone who might appreciate them a bit more. And now the decanter set. Will it too go to a loving home?
12, 15, 15 a bid at 15. At 15, all boxed up. Work as a Christmas present, wouldn't it? 18 a bid at £18. 18, 20, £22. At 22, it is all competition now. At 22, it's 25 a bid at £25, £28, £28 at 28. Rounded up to 30. £30 a bid at 30, it is then at £30 at 30. At 30, 222. 32 it is then at £32 at 32 it is.
Stuff. I didn't know whether anybody would buy it. So I'm thrilled.
Rounded up to 40 for me. Thank you, madam. 40 at £40 at 40 in the room now. At £40, it's gone from the net to the room at 40. At £40 it is then. We're all done. At £40 at 40, selling then at 40. Thank you very much, madam.
Now, will anyone roll the dice on the Las Vegas matchbooks?
There we go. These are great. £20, bid. 20 and bid at 20. At £20 and bid at 20 it is then at £20 to 5. £25 at 25 it is then. At 25 for the matches at £25.
It's another sale.
Amazing.
Right, now we're on to the good stuff.
Next up are 3 bottles of champagne, each being offered as a separate lot.
£30 a bid at 30 it is then at £30. At £30 it is then at £30 at 30. At £40 it is then at 40. 35.
The bottles of bubbly keep on popping.
140 at 140.
Bringing in a tasty £235. Last on the menu is potentially the most sought-after bottle of all.
The Dom Perignon, vintage 1999, champagne in the presentation box there. Internet comes straight in, £90 a bid at 90, £90 a bid at 90, online at 90, 5 fresh bid, £95 at 95, worth this, 100 at £100, 110. 110 it is then at 110, 110 at 110 at 110, 120, 120, 120, selling bid at 120, 130 is it now surely, at 120 for the Dom Perignon, at 120 it is then at 120, 130 bid, 130 and bid at 130, 140, 150, 150, 150, 150 it is then at 150, 160 anywhere is it now? 150 at 150 at £150. 150.
Very good.
Angus is going back to the 80s with this final lot. It's the digital wristwatch.
We'll start 30, 32, 35, 38, 42, 58.
It's a straight fight between two internet bidders.
100 at 100, 110, 110 at 110, at 110 at 110, at 110 it is then at £110, at £110 then we all done at 110 for the watch, at 110. 110, thank you.
Let's hope the new owner knows what all those buttons do. Now Angus has shifted all of Anthony's lots. How much has he raised for charity?
Well, it's so exciting. I genuinely didn't want it to end. I was thinking, oh, we should have brought more stuff.
You did it right.
I'm made up.
Good.
But you're here to reveal the truth now.
We'll take you 714.
Amazing. I'm thrilled, because it was all just gathering dust. So I was really, really pleased.
Fantastic.
It's amazing.
Well, you've been an absolute joy.
Thank you very
really
much. And thank you for looking after us.
Excellent.
It's been mega.
Stamp your passport so you can get back over the border.
I've loved it. But I'm genuinely thrilled. It was lovely that we had some Coronation Street fans in the room, rather than it selling on the internet somewhere that you never know. So I was thrilled that the lady bought it and I've signed it personally to her. So yeah, it's always nice to meet somebody that's a fan of the show. So it's been brilliant.
You know, I'm really pleased the early tech did well, the early technology, the watch, and I think he was quite surprised with that. So yeah, there was definitely a few fans of Corrie in Yorkshire. He's been an absolute gent, lovely guy, and yeah, hopefully you'll see him again.
Three weeks later, Angus and Pete deliver Anneka's snooker table to a charity in Sheffield. And it doesn't take long for it to be put to good use in its new home.
Oh, what a shot!
On the edge of the Yorkshire moors is the picturesque town of Kirby Moorside, home to auctioneer Angus Ashworth.
Now this is a good thing. I know a lot of you in here own Ferraris.
He's on a mission to help celebrities.
Welcome to Pal Towers.
Blimey, that was a knock.
Nice to see you.
And
Come
you.
on in.
Hello.
Turn prized possessions collected over their lives
And these are potentially to go, are they?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a bit weird.
into piles of cash.
If we auction this, we're going to go halves on the profit.
Come along as he visits their homes.
Basically, my home is your home.
Anything that doesn't fix cars can go.
You can assure me you're actually an auctioneer. This isn't some weird burglary or something.
And uses his expert knowledge
If this is right, this could be something very special.
to uncover hidden gems,
The table at the back, I like more than anything else.
Yeah.
sentimental family heirlooms,
This is a problem when your mum and dad keep everything.
and the super strange.
So how do you have Houdini's sack?
Then invites them back to his Yorkshire Auction House, where he sells their unwanted treasures
1800 for Lawrence's pumpkin.
and makes them lots and lots of money.
Yes. Thank you very much indeed.
It looks quite stylish, doesn't it?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. Your vinyl's come back into fashion, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Very sort of retro, as I say now.
A classic.
An auction house is a great place to work if you like being taken back in time.
Oh, you're all right, Nick.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm not playing, I'm working.
Really?
Yeah, it's just going to be one lot.
Yeah. Did you build that yourself, the farm?
I did, I assembled it myself. It's just pure instinct on
Because
this
it's a little bit Blue Peter-ish, isn't it?
one. Yeah, why?
Because guess where we're going today?
We're going to see an ex-Blue Peter presenter.
Correct.
All right.
But probably one of the most famous.
Anthea Turner.
Anthea Turner, yeah, we're off to Anthea Turner's house. Well, technically we're off to her dad's house.
OK.
But she's going to be there.
All right, oh, up for that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, I'll let you finish playing your tractors and I'll grab the van keys.
All right, I think I'll see you out there in a bit.
When Anthea Turner joined Blue Peter in 1992, there was nothing she couldn't do with a toilet roll and sticky back plastic. From there, her fame grew, and so did the body of work that turned her into a national treasure. But she's never forgotten her roots in Stoke-on-Trent.
I used to think that, of course, people who lived in the south, everything was bigger and better and glitzier and more wonderful, and why wasn't I brought up here in the first place? And I cannot tell you how glad I am that I wasn't, that I was brought up here, have my feet on the ground, I had great parents and a really close family.
It's a 3-hour drive to the Turner family home in Stoke-on-Trent. The city's second most famous export is its ceramic industry, after Anthea, of course.
I think you're quite looking forward to this one, aren't you, Nick?
I am actually, yeah, admittedly, yeah.
You remember Anthea Turner off telly?
Yes, very well. Yeah. Well, I kind of grew up with her to a point.
We're actually going to her dad's house. It's where she grew up, you know, it's the old family home.
Generally, it's known as the money tree.
The money tree.
Anthea's father, Brian, who's 90, retired from running the family furniture business nearly 30 years ago. He's made a huge decision to sell his home.
It's quite a big property, you know, for one person to be rattling around in, and there's quite a lot of land attached to it. Unfortunately, Anthea's mother, Jean, died last year, so I'm here by myself. But as you get older, of course, it all needs looking after. And I've reached the grand old age now that it's impossible for me to do the work I used to do.
Which means selling the family home. Which means, of course, selling lots of the things in it, because we won't be able to fit them all where Dad's going to live.
As the house is already on the market, there's no time to waste. So it's lucky that the cavalry is on its way.
Here we are. Well, it looks nice, this, Nick, doesn't it? Oh, what beautiful gardens.
Hello,
Hello.
Angus. Nice to see you.
And
Good
you.
morning.
Thank you very much. Brought Nick with me, yeah.
Nick.
Hello.
Wouldn't be the same without Nick.
No,
would it?
I know.
Blue. This is Brian, my dad.
Hi, nice to meet you. You're all right.
Yes, thank you. You?
Good. I'm very well. What a wonderful house you have.
Yes, we moved in 1977, bonfire night, actually.
Yes. Moved in with a bang then.
Yes.
So a new chapter.
And at 90, it's good to have an adventure.
90, my word. Wow, you're looking
Yes.
good on it. If I understand it correctly, we're not really sort of emptying the house today. It's really sort of setting you on that journey ready for when the house sells.
That's right. The apartment Anthea's got, where I'm going to live, is completely furnished, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Down to the last knife and fork.
Yeah. Being Stoke, we couldn't come and not see porcelain, ceramics and pottery.
Yes. Well, yes, I think we bought our first piece, you know, about 60 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think living in Stoke-on-Trent, you generally, by osmosis, you soak it up.
So you into your pottery then, have you?
And I know it's the craziest A-level to have. I did pottery, craft and design.
So you've got a pottery A-level?
I've got a pottery A-level.
Is that standard in Stoke that you have to do that?
Yeah, you can't leave Stoke. You can't get on the M6 southbound or north unless you've got pottery A-level.
It's time to take a look around Brian's house and decide what can go in this first stage of selling up.
There's a few things in here. This is, what's it called? Is it because it's a nursing chair?
Yes, they refer to that.
Yeah.
Victorian nursing chair, yes.
Yeah.
They're always traditionally fairly low-seated, and a nice sort of upholstered deep button back there.
Nursing chairs were set low so upper-class mothers could maintain their poise and corsets while breastfeeding.
Absolutely fine. I mean, the Victorian furniture's having a bit of a hard time, but, you know, would be absolutely fine to go.
Brian has quite a few bits of silver, pieces he bought and inherited. Nick makes a start on packing them.
It is a big spoon, isn't it?
Yes, very
yeah.
big. A ladle.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
One piece has caught Angus's attention.
Have you had it a long time? What's your history with it?
I should say 50 years at least.
It's an interesting spoon, and it's in the style of a 17th century spoon, and we've got the Dutch marks here, and then what we've got on the back is we've got the English marks, the import marks.
Yeah.
So it was imported into the UK in 1871, so it would have been made, you know, in the sort of late 1860s, 1870, in the style of one from the 1600s. So yeah, lovely thing, I think interesting, but in reality, we're probably sort of £100 to £150 in the current market.
I don't think you should ever underestimate the pressure of downsizing. And I've had to do it. I got divorced and had to downsize drastically. So I know only too well the emotion of making decisions about what has to go. And everything has a memory.
In the end, they decide to keep the spoon in the family for now.
How do you think your dad's doing? Because, I mean, it is quite a wrench, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought I was going to have a battle. And he went, no, you're right. I don't want him to be lonely.
Yeah.
And I think he understands that. And I want to look after my dad.
Time is ticking, Angus. There's a lot to get through.
That's quite a good mirror, that, isn't it? Actually, when you look at this from a distance, it looks beautiful. You thought, wow, is it silver? But it's been silver plate. We've got a base metal there, and then it's been plated at some point. It's had a bit of a hard life. It's a nice thing. It's very decorative, and this sort of thing does sell well. We're probably sort of £70 to £100, something like that. Brian's got a really lovely Worcester porcelain collection, and you know, Worcester's one of the top names in English porcelain, and arguably one of the longest running English factories that there were.
Royal Worcester was founded 70 miles south of Stoke in 1751. It was fit for royal tea parties and world famous for its exquisite designs.
And actually, these were all hand-painted by artists. They employed a team of artists to paint these lovely scenes on it there. This style of Worcester is hugely popular. 20, 25 years ago, would have done a lot of money, created a lot of excitement online. Sadly, although there's still a market for it, they have gone off the boil somewhat. People aren't having cabinets full of decorative ceramics like they used to. So I think in the current market, a set of 9 like that, we're probably looking about sort of 300 to 500 at auction. I love this. So this is a real traditional form of pottery, and it's classed as slipware. You can see where it's all been layered up as it's been made. So the best thing about this is it's made by Anthea Turner, 1975, and I think that is wonderful. It looks like, you know, it could be a much earlier piece. This could easily be something from the 1800s.
This vase is staying with Brian, but there's plenty more that Anthea made earlier.
Anthea, you're a talented lady, aren't you?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but this is a problem when your mum and dad keep everything that you made and you came home with.
The big question is, are you going to let me take one of these unique pieces?
Well, Perhaps somebody would like that.
A mug, yeah. Is it signed? It is.
Of course it's signed.
Look at that. Well, I think that's the star of the day.
Pack it really carefully, won't you?
I will.
Like bubble wrap and everything.
Yeah, we've got a whole box just for this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Angus and Nick have picked and packed over 30 items from Brian's house.
I think it's a new chapter in Brian's life. You know, it's going to be tough walking away from this family home that's been here his whole life. And at 90, he's starting that new adventure in London. You know, you've got to take your hat off to somebody like that. But I think it'd be lovely to be near his 2 daughters and his grandchildren. So it's all very positive, sad, but also very positive. Well, slight problem.
Ah, so you're not in a lot. Can't go with Angus.
Must be in the van.
I know.
Well, yeah, next thing's auction day, so
Yeah.
we'll look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
That's all they need, a narrow drive in reverse gear with a van full of ceramics. Be careful with that mug, Angus. It could be worth a small fortune.
You all right, Mark?
How was your trip?
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
147 miles later, and Angus is back in Kirby Moorside. No need for heavy lifters on this trip.
Oh, that
Hey,
is.
hang on, we're not finished
right,
yet, Mark. Nice. Gilt sort of fire fender. A little bit yesterday's taste, sadly, but still good quality, aren't they?
Well, that's what they'll sell it, won't it, the quality?
Yeah.
Right.
Inside, Brian's 16 pieces of Royal Worcester are getting the once-over by senior valuer Chris.
So one of the good things about Royal Worcester is that it can be quite easy to date sometimes. They use what we call date ciphers on many of their markings from the late 19th century all the way through the 20th. If you looked at the base there, you've got a letter for W and then a various range of dots, and I think it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they started at W in 1950, plus 9 dots, that's 1959. That tells me that was created in 1959. There's no rare dates or anything like that. What you're really looking for in particular, especially with these painted pieces, is the pattern itself and who painted it. This particular one, it's not worth a great deal of money. It's a nice little thing on its own, but not quite what they used to be.
Amongst the haul from Stoke is the Turner family silver.
Straight away we can see that it's Indian.
And it's caught the eye of sale room manager Jeremy.
Simply because of all this very, very fancy, it's called repousse or hammered work on it. And all this is done from the inside, and it's got this fantastic little bird in amongst these flowers here. So it's a really pleasant thing. And it is a rose water sprinkler or a rose water dispenser. So rose water would have been used to make either your clothing or your atmosphere where you were working to smell more pleasant. We're going to call it a piece of silver because that's what we think it is, but it doesn't have a proper hallmark on it. Indian silver is notorious for not being hallmarked. I mean, probably about sort of 1900, that sort of date, maybe a bit earlier, but a really, really super thing, fantastic quality.
Six weeks later, Brian's house has been sold, so the need to get rid of his collectibles is more urgent than ever.
So you're all excited?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, wondering if everything's going to, get a fortune for us.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best. But I think we should be all right. Some nice bits of silver. So there's been a bit of pre-sale interest. So we'll see how we get on. Why don't you come on in and have a look round?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, the chair.
That was a rescue chair, actually. It stood outside our workshops for a good 6 months before it was rescued. So we had it repaired.
When you spend years, or well, my entire life, seeing all of these pieces in the house, and now I'm seeing them in an auction room, it feels a bit odd, to be honest.
Yes.
Anthea and Dad Brian, they've got some really good lots in really good quality, some nice bits of silver, which I think are going to do well. I think Anthea's, I think she might struggle actually today, seeing the items there that she's grown up with.
One of the lots Anthea is finding most hard to part with are the 9 Royal Worcester dessert plates. So she set the reserve at £800. That's 300 above the estimate.
Buying things is easy. Letting things go is hard.
Well, there's no going back now, Anthea. The bidders are waiting. Helping the online customers today is Charlotte and Eleanor, while Vanya is on porter duty. All that's left is for Angus to take to the podium and unleash the public on today's catalogue.
Morning, everybody. Morning. I feel like a school teacher. Great.
First out of the gate is the pretty little mirror that's seen a lot of Turner family life.
£40 for the dressing table mirror there, 40 bid, 42, 5, 5, 5, 5, all came in at the same mark though. £48 it is, then at 48.50. Fresh bid online at 50, it's 55. At 55 it is, might as well round it up to 60. 60 and bid at 60. 65 it is, then at 65 it is, then at 65.
Sold, and the ornate mirror is heading to a new home in Lincolnshire.
I think that's a good price.
The first of Brian's Royal Worcester collection is up next. A Burslem squat baluster vase.
5, 5, 5, 45, lovely piece. At 45 it is, 48, 50, 50 and bid at £50 it is, then at 50, at £50 it is, 5, 5. Go on, you know you want to. 55 at 55 at 55. You're buying a bit of Anthea's childhood here. At £55 it is, then at 55. Weakening. 60, thank you, madam. At £60 it is, then at 60 it is. In the room at 60, you might... 65. 65, you're out at 65 at 65.
I'm surprised at that.
Yeah.
What about those 9 dessert plates that Anthea doesn't really want her dad to sell?
The group, first 4 of them showing there, the group of 9 Royal Worcester dessert plates there. £300 a bit at 300 at £300, £100.
Angus is going to work hard to hit Anthea's £800 reserve.
340, got a bit of interest coming in now. 360, 380, 400, 420, 440, 460, 480. I've got £500 bid at 500, 520, 540, 560.
If you want to change your mind, Anthea, now's the time.
620, serve
What do you think we should do? If I look at Angus, we can stop it. What do you think?
Well, I should let them go.
At 660 then, we all done at 660. I'm selling that at, you're offering 680. I have a bid of 680. At 680. At 680, £700 a bid at 700 at £700 it is, then at 700. At £700.
That's £200 over Angus's estimate, but £100 less than Anthea's reserve. So those plates will be going home after all. Moving on. What's up next, Angus?
This is the most elaborate fire fender you've ever seen. There we go. The Rococo style there. We've got bids all over now. 110, 120. 120 and bid at 120 is it now? 130. 140 bid. 140 at £140. Any advance now? At 140.
I'm surprised that's gone for such a high price.
Now it's the turn of the family silver, starting with the Rosewater sprinkler.
International interest, no less. 100, 110, 130, 140, £140 a bid at 140, 150 is it? 150, 160, thank you, 160. At 160, we're all done at 160. 170, thank you, sir. 170 in the room. At 170 it is, 180, 190. At 190, 200 just in time. Thank you, sir. At 200 it is then. Selling then at £200.
That's a good one.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
The bachelor's tea service for all you bachelors in the room.
And the bids just keep on coming for a pair of Edwardian coffee and tea sets.
120.
Adding extra sparkle to the auction.
At £200.
And results. So it's a triumph for the silverware. But can Angus keep the momentum going?
Now, the lot you've all been waiting for. This is the Anthea Turner 1978 pottery mug, signed and dated.
St Dominic's School for Girls, can I just point out?
£30 for this rare Anthea Turner mug. 30, whip it! £30 online at £30. At £30 it is, then at 32, we're off now. 32 it is, then at £32. At 32, 5, don't miss out now. 35, anywhere is it now? 35, they're back in. At 35 it is, then at 35. I'm going to sell then. 35 it is, then at 35.
Yes!
Anthea's mug will soon be on its way to live by the sea in Redcar. Finally, the nursing chair. Once abandoned outside Brian's workplace, now being wheeled in like the old lady that she is.
Beautiful Victorian nursing chair there we go. £50, start me, 50, 50 and bid. 5, 60, 60 and bid at £60, at 65, 65, 70, at £70.
Nursing chair dispatched, and overall it's been another great day of bidding. But how did Brian and Anthea fare?
Hi, you all right?
I was surprised how good I thought it was a good sale for the silver.
Well, there was the Indian silver.
Yes, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
which has gone back to India. Sold to
Has it?
somebody in India.
No,
Yeah.
oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so that's sold to India.
I love that. That's the best story.
So what did sell means
Yeah.
that you'll be taking home £1,385.
Yes, okay, you're right.
Overall, the results Anthea and her dad were pretty good. You know, the silver sold particularly well. Fantastic that the rose sprinkler went back to India. I think overall they're very happy.
We've still got a lot more than there's already here,
Yes.
haven't we?
Yes.
So somebody's got to buy it at some stage.
So this was our practice, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I think now I've pulled myself together, now we won't dither so much.
The result of the day is her mug. I mean, what an outstanding result that was.
Yes!
I think her dad's going to be turfing a few boxes of Anthea's childhood pottery out and cashing in on those in the future.
Auction houses are full of surprising collections. Every day brings the chance of yet more.
Morning, Mark.
Morning.
You all right?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, good. Got a job to go and do in Cheshire.
Right.
And you might have heard of the chap, Simon Gregson.
Coronation Street?
Coronation
Yeah.
Street,
Oh,
yeah.
They're going to the home of soap royalty Simon Gregson, or Steve MacDonald to Coronation Street fans. He first stepped onto the Corrie cobbles, aged just 14, after producers visited his school in Stoke on a casting call.
We were in assembly and I thought, ooh, people from TV. It was all like fairy tale land, you know? So I'd never acted in my life. So I'm like, I really don't know what to do here. So anyway, they said, look, this is the premise, just act out a scene. I think the scene was, Mum and Dad have gone out for the night, you throw a party, something goes wrong. I was like, oh, I'm well versed in this area. So I just kind of acted out what I did at my Mum and Dad's house.
They cast him immediately. Now, 34 years later, he's still one of the show's most enduring talents.
Steve still got his cab business, he's got his crazy wife who everyone's frightened of. But, you know, it's great. I just go in and we just abuse each other all day long, you know, loads of banter, and then go home. It pays to go and have a laugh. I'm very, very lucky.
And so is specialist valuer Mark, who doesn't often go on house visits.
Well, it's about time I got you out of the sale room, really.
Well, yeah, it's been a while since I've been out.
I think you're going to be in for a treat, Mark.
We are crossing the Pennines again, and we seem to go across them a lot.
It'll take the duo 3 hours to get to actor Simon Gregson's home in Wilmslow in Cheshire. What people don't know about this soap legend are his magpie tendencies, where he'll collect just about anything.
He's clearly into engines and fast stuff, and he's got like go-karts and electric scooters and mowers and stuff, so I thought best bring you to have a look at those.
Yeah.
But it's not just motors. Simon has other tastes too.
It started off with fossils, and my friend rang me and said, why are you collecting dinosaur fossils? And I genuinely said to him, well, they might be worth something one day. He said they've been in the ground for 260 million years. I think they've reached their peak.
He's got 3 boys. Yeah. And clearly, I mean, that typical dad thing that we all do, of buying toys that you think they might like that you really want yourself. Exactly. And I think he's decided that it's time to thin those toys out.
My wife's gone mad and said, get Angus and the crew round and get rid of all your stuff. Hence why he's here.
Oh, here we are, nearly drove past it. Don't worry, I won't squash you. That'll do. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm good, are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I brought Mark with me today.
Hi, Mark. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good stuff. How is it that two Yorkshire lads can help then?
Well, I've got an eclectic mix of bits and pieces lying around.
So you need to have a bit of a fin out and move stuff on.
Yeah, move stuff on, hopefully make a little bit of cash, go towards my eldest first car fund.
Right, yeah.
I don't think he has any idea about how much things cost or what will get insured, but he's slowly coming round to the idea of having a cheap car.
Oh, shall we take a look in the garage?
Yep, let's go.
Have a look. It's your typical garage, isn't it? Bit of all sorts. You clearly like tinkering with engines and gadgets.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I go through phases, then get bored very easily. This was one of them, the go-karts.
Yeah.
Me and the boys were going to go and race this, but the boys are so heavily into football. We've never used it. The chap who bought it off, he hardly used it, and it is what it is. It's been outside for a bit.
Bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently it's really... He reckons it'll do about 70 mile an hour, this thing.
No way.
God,
you wouldn't want to be sat in that, would you?
No, you wouldn't. No.
So, potentially a few bits in here, you happy for us to have a root around?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, have a rummage. Don't kill yourself, because it is a bit messy.
No, sorry.
Anything that doesn't fix cars can go.
All right.
All right, happy days.
While Mark starts to sift through the garage, Simon and Angus pay a visit to the annex.
What a great room.
It started off as the boys' playroom, and it's now become a place for the boys to bring all the friends, you know?
Yeah. And these are all sort of bits that are potentially to go, are they?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Starting with the old arcade machine here.
Fantastic.
Loads and loads of games on there, all the old retro stuff.
Is that something you've had a long time, then?
Yeah, I've had that a good few years, yeah, but no one really plays on it now.
A bit old school for the lads.
It is a bit, yeah.
And I've actually got a few fossils. Is that a phase you went through?
My wife bought me a Mosasaurus teeth for a Valentine's Day gift, and I loved it.
I mean, it's an unusual Valentine's Day gift, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, what you buy the guy that thinks he's got everything.
And
the Ferrari tools, yeah. I used to have a
and
classic Ferrari.
I was going to say the Ferrari's gone, so you don't need... Yeah.
So I don't need the tools anymore. Never used. I just thought it was a nice little item to go with the car.
OK, so plenty of auction potential in the annex. What about other collectibles from Simon's phases?
I see this is the watch phase, then.
That was the very small watch collection. The Rolex I bought in 2002. It's a Rolex Submariner date. And I think I paid £2,300 for that. I'm pretty sure Rolexes go up, so that might be worth a punt.
But it's not just watches in Simon's jewellery box.
And what are they? Cufflinks?
They're rare Corrie souvenirs.
They were actually gifted to us all in 1995, I think.
Well, that would have been to celebrate...
It's 30 years.
35 years.
35
It says
years.
1960 to 1995.
There you go. 35
Coronation
years.
Street.
They've just been in a drawer, never been seen the light of day ever since. I'm not going to wear them because I'm frightened of losing them, which is the same reason that the Rolex is going. What's the point of having all this money on your wrist?
Back in the garage, Mark's found another stash.
Maybe something of interest.
Yeah, I'll have a little read through.
I'll carry on.
Yeah, excellent. Well done, Mark. Handcuffs, I mean, as you would, you know. It's that 1916. And these are military issue because they've got the broad arrow mark on it. There you go, military handcuffs. I've never been in a set of those. I was never in trouble with the military police when I was in. Missing their key, but it's a fairly standard one.
While Mark starts to pack up Simon's relics and some artworks, Angus has spotted something on the bar.
What have we got?
Oh, there we go.
It's a bottle of Madeira. Now, a lot of perhaps younger people might not know what Madeira is. Well, it's sort of similar to a port. It's sort of a sweeter version. And this is particularly good. We've got it all marked up there because this is a war period one, 1914. Nice wax top on it. And what's important is you do get sediment in this, which we can see there. But what we don't want is too much seepage. So the gap from the neck doesn't want to be too low. That's a bad sign.
A gap may mean there's been a leak and oxidisation, But don't worry, Madeira is virtually indestructible. One drinkable Madeira, bottled 300 years ago, recently sold at auction for £25,000. This one will go for a little less. The Madeira needs no help getting onto the van. But it's all hands on deck to lift the go-kart and the gaming machine.
Right, that's it. Back to Yorkshire. Well, what an interesting day. Simon's a great guy. He clearly goes through phases of collecting bits and bobs. We've got a Rolex watch. We've got some fossils. We've got a retro arcade machine. I mean, it's just a random mix, but I think that sums him up. I think his wife's going to be happy that he's let some of it go. Simon, we're all done. We're all loaded up. I mean, it's quite a mix.
Yeah, been through a lot of phases.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, it turned out well in the end.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you on sale day.
Yeah, see you then.
All right, cheers. Bye.
See you, bye. It's not as decluttered as we all want, but it's on its way to being decluttered. I can actually start to tidy up a bit now. So, yeah, it's all very positive. It's all good.
With such a diverse load, every valuer back at base will need to draw on years of experience to price up this collection.
Morning, Angus.
Hi, Jack. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad.
The next day, the team are back in Yorkshire to empty the van and start documenting Simon's things.
Oh, we're so strong, Jack.
Over the next 2 weeks, the team collate every item into 27 lots, which will go into the catalogue a week prior to the sale.
I knew that was your favourite thing off the job. Yeah.
Not very often you get a chance to hold a good, nice example of a woolly mammoth tusk. The thing about this, Angus, it's not actually fossilised into stone. It is the real thing. So well preserved.
He said originally it came up in the trawler net, so it's come out from the seabed, which is, you know, it's just incredible what's beneath our feet, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah.
I think that's potentially, what, 4,000 years old? Longer? The tusk's a hard one because they can make good money if they're in, I mean, although it's well preserved, it has lost a lot off the bottom, so who knows?
And what about that Rolex? How much cash might that bring in?
It's a Submariner, and, you know, it's water resistant down to 1,000 feet, so this is a professional watch. It's not just to look good. Now, they range massively in price depending on the variants and various different things. You know, some Rolex Submariners can be over 100,000, up to even 300,000 pounds. The majority, however, are sub 10,000. So this is in that category, you know, still several £1,000s worth and still a very good thing. So I'm very confident that his watch is going to sell well.
Three weeks later, an actor, Simon Gregson, arrives for auction day.
Morning.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, how you doing? You all right?
I'm all right, thanks,
Good,
Angus,
yeah. Yeah, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, can't wait. First time for me at an auction, so
Yeah.
I look forward to it, yeah. Especially when it's your own stuff, even better, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had a bit of interest, yeah.
Cool.
Well, why don't we come in and have a look around?
OK, happy days.
Enjoy yourself.
Ta. It smells like a museum. It smells like an antique shop. Maybe because it's a room full of antiques.
That could be it, Simon.
Trevor the Velociraptor, right, Trev?
One of the many models that's been cluttering up Simon's house along with his Ferrari tools.
They are a lovely set of tools and they cost me a fortune. So I'm hoping that they go for money. But knowing me, I'll probably get £24 for the lot.
Simon's a great guy, but he's got quite a mixed collection. It's a mixed bag. A go-kart, a mammoth tusk, and a Rolex watch. I think we'll be all right.
One thing's for sure, the boss is going to do everything he can to push up those bids. Helping to monitor online customers today are Jasper and Jack, while Sammy is on porter duty. Gavel polished, Angus is performance ready.
Onto this lovely collection from the other side of the Pennines.
Ooh.
The Madeira is up first, bottled more than a century ago at the outbreak of the First World War.
Ooh, for the connoisseurs of you out there, where should be for this? 150 bid, £150 a bid at 150.
The bidding opens high.
160, 170.
Online bidders push it even higher.
170, 170, 180, 190. 190, you won't remember drinking it, but it'll be good. 190 it is then. We're all done at £190.
Not a bad start for the Madeira.
It's the only thing I've ever made money on.
Go back to reality now.
Next is a lot that's definitely the oldest thing in the sale.
This is the bit of mammoth tusk that came up from a trawler, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, found in the North Sea. I did have quite a large collection of fossils, but
Yes.
my youngest child buried them in the garden. So in years to come, there's going to be a lot of surprised archaeologists.
But this is the bit that survived the Great Burial. Where should we be for this? 50, 55 we're off at 55 a bid at 55 it is then at 55. 60, 60 a bid at £60 a bid at 65, £65. 70, £70 a bid at 70. At £70 you all came in on the same nose there at 75 is it now? 75, 75 a bid at £75 a bid at 75. At 75 it is then at £75.
Sold to a buyer from Leicester. Here's hoping they don't bury it in the garden. Now for that gaming machine, looking for a high score in the auction room.
Where should be? £200 start me for it. £200. This superb arcade machine. 200, we're off. At £200 a bid at 200 it is. At 200, 210. 210 a bid at 210. 220, 220, 230. 230 a bid. 240. One more, go on at 250, 250. 250, 260, 270, 270 a bid at 280, £280 at 290, one more for you. Go on, 290 at 290, 300. At £300 it is then at £300. We're all done at 300.
Happy days.
5.
So the gaming machine gets to be played for another day. What about the go-kart? Who will be speeding away in that?
It's fast. It's got its cover, it's got a stand and everything to go with it. There we go, where should we be for it? £300 start me, £300 for the go-kart. £300 surely. I mean, it's great fun as this. Yeah, otherwise we'll put it into our big automobilia sale. New lease of life, midlife crisis. Can see some of you in this.
Angus will try and find a bidder in a specialist auction later. Hopefully there's a buyer waiting for the next lot.
Now this is a good thing. I know a lot of you in here own Ferraris.
Maybe not.
I can open at 160, at 160, 170.
Aha, there are bidders online.
180, 180, 180 it is then at 180 it is then at 180, 190, 200. At £200 it is then at 200. 210 anywhere is it now? At £200 it is then at £200 at 200.
Well done, Angus. Happy, Simon?
A bargain.
And he's not finished yet. From luxury goods to fighting crime and those Edwardian handcuffs.
There we go, where should be, please? Got £20 straight in at £20 a bid at 20, at 22, 5, 5, £25 at 25 it is then at 25, 28, commissions out, at £28 it is then at 28, we're all done for the handcuffs, at £28, 30, fresh bid, 30, £30, the handcuffs at 30, I'm selling at 30, 2, 32, I know every pound helps, at 32 it is then at £52.
And who knows what the new owner from Chorley is going to do with those. It's the turn of Simon's watch collection, and after rattling through 5 of them, including a Casio G-Shock Rangeman,
at £210.
a Seiko stainless steel chronograph,
170.
and a job lot of timepieces, including a Victorian pocket watch.
Selling at 48.
Angus turns his attention to the star of the show, Simon's Rolex Oyster Submariner.
He's selling this to buy his son a car. And they've gone up in value, cars.
Not as much as Rolex, come on.
It's a good piece, is that there? I can open at 36, 36, 37, 38, 39. 4,000, 4,1, 4,2 I have. At 4,3, fresh bid at 4,3, 4,4, fresh bid at 4,4, 4,5, 5,000, thank you. At 5,100, at 5,2.
A handful of bidders just won't give up.
5,4, 5,5, 5,6. At 5,7 it is. It's 5,8, 5,8 it is. At 5,800. Anybody else like a Rolex Submariner? At 5,800 it is. At 5,8. We're all done at 5,000. 5,9, just in time. You might as well round it up to 6. It'd be a nice round number, wouldn't it? 5,9 it is. At 6,000, thank you. £6,000 bid. At 6,000 it is. At £6,000 we're going to sell then at 6,000.
So the Rolex is off to a new owner in Leeds.
That's Alfie's now getting the bus and I'm getting a car.
I think he's joking. How much will he get to spend on it?
You're right.
Yeah, good.
It was an experience for you, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, you know, regardless of whether stuff went for less than I expected or they went just right. The whole purpose is to get money for Alfie's car.
Well, you'll be taking home £8,256.
Yowzers, that's how much we got for everything.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, no problem at all. No, thank you very much.
Thank you, Angus.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
And I hope Alfie gets the car.
I'll get him to drive past your house and bib in a way of gratitude. When you go into these kind of things, you never know what's going to happen. It's an auction. You don't know who's there on the day. But you have to think about it sensibly. A lot of it has been sat in a box in the garage. A lot of it has been sat in a drawer in the house for years doing nothing. And now it's been turned into proper money. So great, just from stuff lying around the house.
I think he's enjoyed it. I don't think he really knew what to expect. But the best thing is, you know, it's going to cover the cost of that car, that first car.